Wednesday, day 284, because I heard you want more, so I'm going to give it to you. First card of the day is Ication Priest. This is from Fallen Empires. This is from Fallen Empires. Look at that. Look at that card. This is a single white mana for a 1/1 human cleric. You can pay 1 and double white to have a creature get +1/+1 till end of turn. So if you want to give 3 guys, if you want to anthem the rest of the team, that'll be 9 mana. Little man, put that in my hand. Pretty not amazing, but I could still see trying to play this in a cleric's deck and commander. Like, as far as 1-drops go, you might not have all of the best options otherwise, but you do have like Soul Warden, Soul's Attendant. Lunarch Veteran is probably a cleric. I don't remember now. And Hinterland Sanctifier, I think, is a cleric. So you've got other 1-drop options. Don't get me wrong, but if you're trying to get a little aggressive, maybe you got a few mana laying around, it's instant speed activation, so a creature gets through or a creature gets blocked, maybe, give it +1/+1, save it. I think it's a cute design for a 1-drop. I think it's not terrible. Fallen Empires gets a bad rap. This is still not good, though, so I'm going to give it a 2.75, somewhere in there. Next is, it's Plague Crafter. I thought of this card just earlier this week when we looked at Fleshbag Marauder. Plague Crafter is originally from Guilds of Ravnica, and it's 3 mana, 2 and a black for a 3/2 human shaman. When it enters the battlefield, each player sacks a creature or planeswalker. Each player who cannot do that discards a card. So, a little bit better than Fleshbag, because if somebody doesn't have a creature, or in this case also a planeswalker, they can have to sack planeswalkers if they have them. If they can't do either one, they at least have to do something. So maybe one of the better Fleshbag Marauders that we've ever seen. And I kind of like him. I've always liked him. I like his purple magic hand. I'm going to give him, I gave Fleshbag a 4.3 or 4.4. I'll give this a 5. I'll give this right at a 5. I think if you're going to play an effect like this, this is probably the one that you play. So sure. Next is Wayfairing Temple from Return to Ravnica. This is 3 mana, 1 a green and a white for a star elemental. Its PT are equal to the number of creatures you control, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, populate. That's a decent line of text if you can actually get it through here. It's always at least a 1/1. But you don't want to play a 3 mana 1/1. Not necessarily. But I guess if you can make this unblockable, a free populate every turn is nice. This could go in the Titus deck or something. I guess that deck cares more about counters than it does populating. No, you can still do it. You can still do it. Either way, I think this is a fun little card. I'm not sure what you actually, what you put it in, but there's probably 12 decks at least. This goes in. So a cute card, but again, combat damage isn't super reliable. And unless you're tokens, this thing's going to be like a 4/4. A 3 mana 4/4 is not a bad deal, but it's not the best deal in the world, right? So let's give this, ask the audience. Haven't asked the audience this week yet. Now I've kind of made it clear that I feel the card is okay, so I don't want to taint your ratings or anything, but I do want to give you enough time to really think about it before I rate the card, because I feel bad for not having asked the audience yet this week. We've been through 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 cards. This is the 15th card of the week or something like that. No, 20, excuse me. Yeah, 22. This is the 25th card of the week. And I have not asked you your opinion yet. So let me know, how do you feel about Temple? I'm going to give this, you know what? I'm going to give this a 5. I am. I'm not super impressed, but I'm impressed enough to give it okay, you're the average strength of a card I actually want in my commander deck. That score, you know what I mean? No more, no less. Right? So I think it's okay. Ordinary Pony is from an unset. They think they cook sometimes, and sometimes they do. This is a Wall of Granite from Portal. 3 mana, 2 and a red for a 0/7 wall with, of course, Defender. Illustrated by Kev Walker. Do like him, but, even when you tell Kev Walker to hey, can you draw a stone wall? He's like, yeah, okay, I'll just do that. It's not going to look amazing. You know what I mean? I kind of like the sort of almost comic booky, but still, very, very painted style of Kev Walker. I really like the way he does things. But altogether, it's a big rock wall. How good can that look? Right. So, and how good can it be? A 3 mana 0/7. Okay. I'm going to give this a 1.6. You know, it's a pretty bad card. I think we can all agree. Next is Cop Blue, Circle of Protection Blue. Technically the worst Circle of Protection. But at least on the older editions, it's got this cool looking lady. This cool looking lady sitting in the middle of the circle. Like, haha, nothing blue can get to me. I'm sitting in the middle of the woods at night and nothing blue can get to me. I think you should have probably erected Cop Green. I think you're in the wrong place for Circle of Protection Blue, lady. That is an unearned smirk, is what I would say. This, I actually give a lower score to than the other circles. I will give this, I'm still going to give it like a 4.4. No, I'm not. I'm going to give this a 3.5. I don't think you're going to be using this as often as you will basically any other Circle of Protection. So let's just put it that way. Lady does look cool, but again, unearned sense of confidence. Moving on to Aragorn. I'm going to make so many people mad if I pronounce him that way. Aragorn. It's obvious. Everyone knows his name's Aragorn. We've already done this card, and I think I gave it a relatively high score because I don't love the Ring Tempts You as a mechanic, but I ended up kind of liking the function of this card. So I think we gave Aragorn a pretty decent score. Next is C Double. This card's awesome, dude. This is from Mom, from March of the Machine. And it's about $1.75. Well, actually, no. It's about 50 cents. Okay, so yeah, it's about 50 cents from Mom. 4 mana, 2 and double blue for an instant that cannot be copied. Choose one. If an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, you may choose both. Either copy target spell, you may choose new targets for the copy, or create a token that's a copy of target creature. I think we may have done this card before, but appropriately, we should do it twice. Hey, I'm not sure that we have, but I will say this is a pretty great little spell. It honestly is, man. I wish that we saw more of it in Standard, because it's about to rotate, like in a week. This card rotates out of Standard. Less than a week. But one way or the other. I think that this is a really fun commander card. You know, copying any spell that they or you play is gross. And copying any creature on the table at instant speed is also disgusting. You get great ETB trigger at instant speed. Like, you basically give any creature that you or your opponents control flash, and it's in your hand. It's pretty nasty. Honestly, this card should probably see a little bit more play. I'm going to give C Double a 6.4. I'm serious. This card's awesome. It really is. I think, like, you worry that it rots in your hand, but there's plenty of ways to set this up. There's so many ways, dude. You don't have to worry about that. Next is Overwhelm from Salvat 2005. It's actually from Ravnica, City of Guilds. 7 mana, 5 and double green for a sorcery with Convoke. Creatures you control get +3/+3 till end of turn. What? No trample? I don't also get trample? I got to tap down my guys to help play this spell. Hopefully still have enough dudes to attack. And those dudes don't even get trample on my overrun effect? Get out of town. Get out of my face. This could be free, but for it to be free, you'd have to have like 12 creatures on the table. I guess it's possible. For it to be free and worth casting, I guess is what I mean. This I will give a 3. No, I won't. I really like Convoke. Like, I really, really, really like Convoke. So yeah, sure. I'll give it a 3. I'm actually there. Is that already 9 cards? There's no way. It's only been like 9 minutes. I yammer way too much for that to be the case. Let's move on to the whoo. Oh, it's Demonic Tutor. Okay. All right, everybody. It's Demonic Tutor. This is a Judge gift card version of the card that is currently $121. The Strixhaven Mystical Archive Japanese version is $125. I owned this Strixhaven Mystical Archive one that's now $60. I owned it. Had to sell it like 2 years ago for money because I'm broke. So it was in a batch of cards I got like $300 for. And I miss it every day. But I have proxied versions of Demonic Tutor. And the proxied versions are from, back here. They look like this. which is pretty fun. It's pretty fun to have a Demonic Tutor that at least looks like this. But I probably owned 8 copies of the revised edition one in my life at some point or another. And I miss them all so much. I've traded them away or sold them as well. And this is one of my favorite Magic cards of all time. Quick story time with Dev, because it's only been like 10 minutes and we're close to the end of the video. I went to a religious private school from 7th through 12th grades. I graduated from this school. And this is around the time Magic first got popular, right? Like I started school in 1995 in 7th grade. And I am dating myself here, but I started middle school, 7th grade in 1995. And that's the year I started playing Magic. And it's also the year that Magic kind of took off in popularity. You know, Ice Age came out and we were all buying like 88, like 10, what was it like? I think that my local comic store was running like 89-cent packs of Fallen Empires. So like everyone was buying those up and we were all having fun playing Magic. And my school, right, made the declaration that if you got, you know, seen with Magic cards, playing a game of Magic or just with Magic cards in your backpack or whatever, that like your cards are going to get confiscated. And this rule ended up getting overturned. They had to give you your cards back. You can't just confiscate cards that are worth money that their parents paid for forever. You can't just take them and throw them away. Can't do that. But for like 2 whole years there, if you were seen with cards, they would get taken from you. And that is in large part due to this card. This card in Unholy Strength. The old versions of Unholy Strength had a pentagram in the background, and the newer versions of Unholy Strength have the same art, but the pentagram has been, you know, taken out of the background of it. And that's because, you know, they're fundamentalists, like uber religious types. No shade to religious types, but very religious types got a bug in their bonnet over it and made a stink. And my school is an extension of that. And Demonic Tutor and Unholy Strength were the two like big reasons. And we tried to reason with the staff and the teachers that, like, you know, oh sure, there's Demonic Tutor, but there's also you know, Holy Strength. There's also Sarah Angel. There's also Wrath of God. You know, there's, you know, like there's a lot of cards that are, you know, sort of religious, like Christian even, in the early, you know, right. But they, I think that their line on that was basically that it was like mocking, you know what I mean? And so we couldn't have the cards at school and it was kind of lame. It was kind of really, really lame. And Demonic Tutor holds a special place in my heart, not only because, you know, of all that hullabaloo that it caused, but also because it's so powerful. This card is undeniably, insanely powerful. Maybe not the best tutor ever printed. It's possible Vampiric Tutor is the best tutor ever printed, but I still say that, you know, even at sorcery speed, Demonic is worth double the price of Vampiric. You know, you don't have to put the card on top of your library and draw it next turn or find a way to draw it otherwise. You don't have to, you don't have to like pay the 2. Did I say that? You don't have to pay the 2 life. I go back and forth on which is the better tutor, but it's probably Vampiric Tutor at the end of the day, because you can just draw the card. You can't just play Brainstorm or something after you play Vampiric, and that's a 2-mana play, and go ahead and draw the card on your opponent's turn and counter the spell or whatever it is. So again, Vampiric is probably the better card, but I'm still going to give Demonic a 9.9. And I would probably give Vampiric a 9.9 as well. I think that they're basically in the same realm. The joke continues that 10s don't exist, but we actually just rated a card a 10 like 2 weeks ago as Time Walk. We got Time Walk. And 2 mana for an extra turn, I give it 10. I give it 10 to that all day. I don't think Demonic Tutor is right at a 10. I really don't think that it is. But it is definitely one of the most powerful cards of all time. I think it deserves that 9.9. So this is how Scryfall works. You get 9 like bad cards in a row that you only talk 30 seconds about, and then you get Demonic Tutor. There's some sort of luck to the slot machine of the random pull, but in any case, that is the final card of the day, and it's a freaking doozy. It's probably going to be the best card we look at this week, but we still got a couple of days, so let's see. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.